You've tuned in to Arm and a Leg and Other Opinions We Like to Give, a weekly podcast hosted by two veterans dedicated to politics, current events, interviews, and anything else they want to mention, but probably shouldn't. So without further ado, here are your hosts, Robbie the Dream Gaupp and Brett Miracle Man Parks.
Hey, thank you, and welcome to tuning in to another Arm and a Leg and Other Opinions We Like to Give podcast. I am Brett Parks.
And it's your boy, Robbie Gaupp.
Well, today we have an awesome day. Just like every day that we have an awesome day. It's awesome. So first things first, how you doing, Robbie?
Great, man. Couldn't be better. I've had a great few weeks getting some stuff organized and set up for Thanksgiving and Christmas already.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Christmas is right around the corner.
Around the corner.
Do you have what do you call it? Do you have Christmas lights and stuff up in your neighborhood yet?
Not yet. Not that I've seen, but we're starting to decorate for Christmas at our house for the simple fact we're not going to be here this Christmas. We're going to go down to see my family in Texas, and so Texas, I'm coming home in December. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and decorate our house and get everything ready during the Thanksgiving. We're going to keep our living room our Thanksgiving area. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'm in like a kind of like a heavily populated Indian neighborhood, and they actually have Diwali. I think it's today or tomorrow. And the way they celebrate is they have Christmas lights up. So right now there's Christmas lights all in my neighborhood. But yeah, so it's pretty cool to see.
That's fun though.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a different kind of atmosphere.
Yeah. So are y'all going to start putting up your Christmas lights early then in that case, just because it's already out?
No, I don't think so. We'll probably do it the day after Thanksgiving. Like Susie's excited because this past week it was the first on Sirius Radio had their holiday channel out and the Hallmark channel and stuff. So every time I'm in the truck with Susie, we're listening to Christmas music. So that's always fun. So
it's about to be Christmas music and Christmas movies at your house.
That's it. That's what it's going to be from now until next October.
So how have you been?
Good. It's been really, really busy. It's been crazy. But then last night it all came to a head. My sons had been complaining about a headache, and he's like whining. He comes in our room at like 3 a.m, kind of like a whimper. And we're like, just sleep on the floor. So he's sleeping on the floor in our room, and he's still whimpering. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're the worst. And he's not, but that's what I'm feeling. And I'm like, here, I went and I got him some medicine, and he takes his little cough medicine or whatever, and then he throws up all over the place in my room. So at that point, it's like 4 a.m. I'm wide awake cleaning up throw up, and I'm like, ugh. So I didn't get much sleep last night, but he's getting better, I think.
That's good. Hopefully, he passes whatever it's there, and it doesn't pass on to everybody else.
I know. Well, the thing is that he doesn't have a fever or anything. So I think it's like, I think he has like he has allergies and he has anxiety. I think the allergies gives him anxiety and he throws up because he does that. I feel like he does it all the time. He doesn't, but it feels like that. I'm like, what's the matter with you? Like no fever or anything, but he's getting rest. He says he's starting to feel better. So.
Did he, I see now, Brett, you have a new adventure you've added into your life.
What is that?
I see on your post on your Facebook, you're doing jiu-jitsu now.
Ah, yes. I'm doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I am. It's, I was doing it like 2 years ago. I did it for about a month or two. And then I started traveling a lot with, Warrior Games and volleyball and stuff like that. So I got away from it, but I just signed Jason up to do it. So he's doing it now. And I decided to start getting back into it. So it's fun, man. I learn a lot. I get my butt whooped, man, because that's the only sport where strength really doesn't matter. If you're stronger, it's actually it's a detrimental to you because you try to use your strength and not your technicality.
It's a good building bond too for you and your son to be doing something like that, and him getting to watch you get your butt whooped so he doesn't make the same mistakes.
Yeah, I know. Every time I'm going against some guy and Jason's sitting on the couch watching me, I'm like, hey, I'll give you $5 if you let me take you down, my son. So I'm starting. The place is cleaning me out because I have to keep paying people.
Well, you're going to make sure that you getting better teaching because I'm sure they'll bring in better coaches too.
Yeah, I know. There's it's gonna pay off.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, so I saw your little boy Ezra was a little baby chick for Halloween.
Yes, it was amazing, amazing costume that Sadie put together. We were really big on Halloween this year. We kind of really wanted to do something good.
Right.
My son wasn't really sure what he wanted to until the very last minute, but it turned out epic. He was an old man, and it was
Oh,
he played his role. I mean, he only got like 20 pieces of candy because he walked so slow to each house,
I
but
saw it. It
it was
was
exceptional.
it was classic. I showed Susie and she just started laughing.
And Ezra just had the cutest little chicken rooster costume I've ever seen in my life, running around. If you haven't seen it, go check out my Facebook because it is funny. My daughter, she was supposed to be Little Red Riding Hood, but I guess on Fortnite, as you've seen, they have Fable on there now, which is like the Little Red Riding Hood for Halloween season. So she kind of was walking around saying she was Fable instead, which is kind of cool. She enjoyed it and then did her makeup and she just really loved it. What'd your kids like? How did your kids end up with for Halloween, like overall, candy wise?
Yeah, they got more candy this time than they've ever had, and we didn't even go to as many houses. We went to probably half the houses we usually go to, and they got twice as much candy. It's amazing. But in our neighborhood, we have so many kids in our neighborhood that most houses they just leave bowls out.
Yeah.
And my son and my daughter, they're really good by only like taking like two pieces of candy. But here comes Johnny, his 2-year-old Johnny comes walking up and he just gets a huge handful. He gets like 6 or 7 pieces of candy and puts them in his pumpkin. I'm like, no, 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 no. Well, okay. It's fine.
Well, I told Sadie, I said, since I don't want my kids eating all their candy, so I'm gonna take part of their candy, and I think I'm gonna give it out next year that they got this year.
Yeah, right, right. My son made a bet with me. There's a little basketball hoop in his room. He's like, Daddy, if I make this shot, I get to play Fortnite for 2 hours tomorrow. I'm like, okay, but if you miss, I get half of your candy, and you have to pick up all the dog poop in the backyard. Well, he missed, so I got half his candy, and he had to pick up the dog poop.
So
Which
you got no Fortnite play, right?
no Fortnite play. Nope. I
I'm
said,
about to start
son,
doing that too with my kids.
I was like, son, you should know by now that I never, I never make bets with things I know I'm going to lose. I always make bets when I know I'm going to win. So,
I
so what,
see.
what we got today, big guy?
So one of our big topics, and I've actually seen you and Sadie in kind of some debates on Facebook, and I really think it's a big topic that we should be talking about this week, is the immigration that's right now, the caravan that's actually in its pursuit to the U.S. border.
Right.
Um, as we know, there's over 500,000 people per year illegally they estimate that comes into America illegally. And right now there's 5,000 people in this caravan. How do you feel overall this is going to play out in the end?
Well, me personally, well, anybody that says that we should have complete open borders, I don't think understands the human psyche too much. They don't really get the fact that you can't just let anyone come and go as they please. It'd be like letting people come into your house, strangers that you don't even know, come in no matter what, and that's no good. And so those of you that are watching online right now, I just paused the podcast because my son came in. He's not feeling too good. We're just talking about it, and here he is, right here. Doesn't he look great? But so letting people having open borders is like saying that anyone around your neighborhood, anyone around your city could just come into your house when they please, whoever it is. Doesn't matter if it's a mass murderer, a pedophile, or a good person. You're going to want to know who's coming in and why. So I think that this is it's problematic, and it's been that way for a while. This didn't begin with Donald Trump and his administration. This has been going on since Jimmy Carter and even before then. So yeah, I think that is problematic. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as it could be. I think by the time this caravan gets to the border, there won't be nearly as many people as there are right now. What do you think?
See, I do feel the same way as you. I do feel it's a very problematic. problem that we're going to have, for the simple fact that people are jumping on as they're walking. Now, we don't know any backgrounds of these people. We don't know even where they're actually all from. But when they get here, and if we can't stop them, I mean, we just seen that there was actually a border agent killed in Mexico, the Mexican border agent was killed with rocks because they're starting to throw rocks at people and stuff like that that's trying to stop them. And, I just seen that Donald Trump actually said that if they get here and they throw rocks at our people, then we're going to take that as a deadly weapon. And it should be, people in the world, I mean, hammers kill more people than guns. So we have to look at objects like that, in a way we can lose a life of our own citizens by I wouldn't say stupidity, by the ignorance of others from other countries. And it shouldn't be that way. We should be here to protect our own borders and our own people. I know a lot of people's big debate is, well, the border, we took our country from the Indians. Well, as you said, we took that from them. We took it. Now we have laws. We have borders. We created our own area. I mean, that's the way the world was back then. You give, and you take.
Yeah, I think that the Native American thing, that's a huge myth that we actually took it. When we first came here, these tribes, even the peaceful ones, were at war with each other. And we nuzzled up to one tribe and we helped them defeat their enemies. We gave them guns, we gave them support. And in exchange, they gave us land. Now, towards the end, when you get to the 1800s and stuff, it gets a little bit murkier as far as us saying, okay, all of this land is ours because we claim it. But I think at first the Native Americans or the indigenous people, whatever you want to say, whatever the correct social term is today, they initially gave us the land. They welcomed us with open arms. And I agree with you completely on that. And we're a nation of laws. We're not a nation of immigrants. We're a nation of citizens. And I think we need to follow those laws. Now, do I think that we need to streamline and open up the immigration policy a little better? Yeah, I do. I think that there are problems when it comes to admitting immigrants in for a pathway to citizenship. There should be a much easier, a better streamlined way to do it. And I think we're messing up there. But just as well as I do that the government loves to hold its butt, and the government isn't very, let's just say if the government was a private business, it would have gone bankrupt a long time ago.
But at the same time, whenever I look at it and I say, there should be a streamline, and I do agree with you. I do believe there should be a faster process, because with due time, people are possibly going to commit crimes and this and that as long as they sit there. So with it being faster, that would help that them coming across and stuff like that without having to do it illegally. Right. But for the same thing is that if they come across and they do it legally, then all the time that they wasted trying to do it illegally and sitting back, losing the rights to do it, they could have got citizenship. So it's like, in my mind, you should have just done it right the first time. A lot of people who are legal immigrants agree that, illegal immigration is wrong. Like, do it the right way, because they had to do it the right way to get here. And there's a lot of families and a lot of people that, it does hurt. And I understand people say, well, some of them are just trying to get out of the area and trying to claim asylum and this and that. You're right. But to fix your own country, you can't do it when you're leaving. Mm-hmm. And so we can't sit here and take in everybody because they want to leave their own country that's bad to them. Sometimes you have to stand up, just like people do in our country, stand up for what you believe in and hope it makes a change.
Right.
I mean, that's how I feel about that. But I think it's a big problem. It's going to be coming. If we opened our doors, like you said, and allowed anybody and start allowing people in or not stopping them, then the problem is people with backgrounds and stuff like that, the 3-year process or 2-year process or even year process that it takes for some of these people is going to be looking at their background, where they're from, what their family's done, who's this, who's that. And that's what takes due time.
Right. Yeah.
Because we have to find that out. Because if not, guess what? Here we go with a terrorist. Here we go with a shooter. Here we go with somebody that's a felon, that's committed all these crimes but change their name 10 times in their own country.
Yeah, not just that, not just the extreme. I mean, terrorists and felons, stuff like that. That's extreme, and I believe there are people that are coming over like that. But I think more common is there are people coming over for a better life that don't have transferable skill. They're a lower skill worker, and they become a dredge to the economy because now we have a welfare system where we didn't have that back in the New York, not Staten Island, Staten Island.
I think it is Staten Island.
Well, coming in through New York, we didn't have a welfare system. You lived and died by if you worked and if you stood with the neighborhood. So I think that every citizen or every potential citizen should be vetted, and if they have a transferable, a relatable trade, they should be able to come in without any problems.
Now, say we do this. Say we make it where it's faster processes and stuff like that. Do you feel with I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but where certain nationalities, certain races, certain I guess we'd say ethnicities and stuff like that get jobs. Do you think we do away with that for that?
Kind of like,
because then we're going to start having fluctuations of more immigrant people coming in. So now we have to give them jobs versus
kind of like an affirmative action kind of thing.
Yeah, because like right now, a lot of times, like in schools and stuff, and even in jobs, so many people have to from different ethnicities have to be put in positions. And
yeah, it's like a diverse. You have to be diverse.
Yes. So do we do away with that system if we're bringing in more immigrants?
Well, I think I've always thought that you should do away with the affirmative action position, because right now, they just found out that Harvard isn't letting Asians in that clearly have better test scores and better grades and everything. They're not letting them in because there's too many Asians, according to Harvard. And I think that's wrong. I think if you're the most qualified person, it doesn't matter what race, what gender, what nationality, whatever, you should be admitted in. And I don't think that's a problem. I think that the only thing that affirmative action does is really hobbles the person that got hired and also hobbles the person that didn't get hired. And I think that we need to do away with that stuff. Anyways, we should every person just has to lean on their merit, fall back on their merit and their resourcefulness.
Sounds good. I think I see the same way that you see it. I think it's a big step to do those kind of things, but I mean, it is something that I think we'll have to do in the near future, because if we're going to start allowing more people and diversity and those kind of things pushed into our country, then we need to do away with the giving to everything. We need to start making people work and have to achieve what they want. I mean, that's how it was back in the day. And it, I know it was kind of still biased, but now that we're actually trying to fix all the problems as far as the biasness and, based on gender and based on ethnicity and stuff like that, then we should go ahead and start pushing for better grades and better work ethic and stuff like that to get jobs. So.
Yeah, I agree. I could see that.
And those changes might be coming very soon, as we seen yesterday. As many people know, if you went out and voted, good job. The Republicans won the Senate, which is a big step.
Mm-hmm. They kept the Senate.
They kept the Senate. Yeah, kept the Senate, which was, it's still a big step because we didn't want to lose that for sure. But the Democrats took over the House, so that is a win for them in a way. So they kind of do, have an upper hand now a little bit, in some instances. Nancy Pelosi is definitely in the role for or in the calling for, I guess, the speaker position in the House. So how do you feel about that, Brett?
Well, first let me just make a quick point for all of you that posted on Facebook that you voted. You posted this picture of you with the little voting sticker. Guys, we get it. here's a quick story. The USA women's softball team went to Buds SEAL training, and they did. I guess it was the first part, the Buds part, and it was kind of like the Hell Week part. And they had 2 teams, and the teams, they had to race out with the boats on their shoulders, the dinghies, and they had to go out to the surf and touch a buoy and then come back. And one team made it first, and they were all excited to get there. They start yelling and cheering and giving each other fives and stuff. And the SEAL instructor, he told me, he's like, get down, get in lean and rest, get in the push-up position. Made them lean and rest. And he said, you never cheer for something you're supposed to do. You're supposed to win. You don't cheer. When I saw all those I voted stickers and people like patting themselves on the back, I'm like, why? You're supposed to vote. It's not a special thing that you voted. And I know back in the 20s, women couldn't vote and all that stuff, but it's, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's almost been 100 years since women have been allowed to vote. So it's, to me, it was just very annoying yesterday. I just had to air that out. And as far as the Democrats taking the House and the Republicans keeping the Senate, they actually added 3 seats in the Senate. So that was a good thing. For the Republicans, I looked at the midterms election yesterday as the movie Rocky, the first Rocky. You know how there's the big champs, right? And Apollo Creed was going to just destroy Rocky because he was a no name, he was nothing. And at the end, they had this big fight. Now Rocky still lost, but he went the distance with the champ. And I think that's what happened with the Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats, they're supposed to be this huge blue wave, like a tsunami that was going to come and take 73 seats away in the House. And that's not what happened. That's not what happened. It was just like the Republicans went the distance. They gained only 34 seats. The Democrats only gained 34 seats in the House, and they took the House. They won, but it wasn't nearly as impressive as they were thinking.
I also I feel that the Democrats thought the border stuff, the Kavanaugh stuff was literally going to just literally destroy Trump. And then in this vote, and it kind of didn't go that way.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it was interesting to see. They thought Beto O'Rourke was going to destroy Ted Cruz. That didn't happen. They thought Gillum was going to beat DeSantis. That didn't happen. They thought the girl, I forget the lady's name. I apologize. The one in Atlanta, Georgia. They thought she was going to win. And as of right now, she hasn't conceded defeat yet, but she's not winning. So there, it says a lot about where the country sees themselves right now. And to tell you the truth, it was almost split right down the middle, Democrat, Republican. And I believe this was a record turnout as far as voters go with midterm elections, which was incredible. But literally, it was like 50% want Democrat, 50% want Republicans. That's 1 in 2 people.
Well, what was astonishing to me is whenever I was watching, of course, I'm from Texas, and then from the start of the Beto and Cruz, the votes, Beto was up instantly. Like, they were like, oh my gosh, he's going to take it, this and that. But like I said, it was at the beginning.
Right.
And in the end, when Cruz takes it, it shows you that money just isn't going to buy it.
No.
Because he raised $76 million. Now, I don't know where all that money goes and whatever, all that, but $76 million is a lot of money. And then to lose. So, yeah. I mean, I know certain people, like, I think Jim Carrey gave money. There's a bunch of people that gave money to him. But it was like, to me, to see that money isn't the factor in winning this, that's a big deal. Because now we know that, the actors and all these things, it's not going to win it for them.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. And the same thing with Gillum. I think Gillum raised like $45 or $50 million for his campaign alone. And the funny thing is, Gillum is a socialist. He's an open socialist, just like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders actually endorsed him. But the funniest part about this is the DNC wanted Gillum to take some of his money and distribute it around to other races. And Gillum said, no, this is my money. I'm going to use it for what I'm going to use it for. And you're like, wait, what happened to the socialist redistribution thing, man? What happened? So I think the problem is that Republicans now were the Democrats 15 years ago, and Democrats now are that fringe left. And I don't think that fringe left translates for modern Democrats today. I think traditional, modern, not leftist, but the liberal thinker, I think they feel they have more in common with the Republican Party right now than with the Democrat Party, because they keep pushing more and more extreme guys thinking that that's the answer, and it's clearly not the answer.
And I agree with you on that for the simple fact that when I was actually reading something today, and it was stating that we, like the Nancy Pelosi thing, it's not a for sure vote in.
Right.
Even though even though the Democrats took the House, it's not a for sure vote in, because not all the Democrats are going to vote for her.
Right.
So it's like, it's still up in the air, and they can't even sway and say, oh, she's a for sure in. It's she might get it. She has a better chance now.
Yeah. I mean, it's really telling. And I'm not a big fan of the Republican Party right now. I just really am. I'm not. I agree with them on a lot of the social issues, but the economic issues, I think they still want to concentrate on big government. I'm not a big government guy. I want government away, as far away as possible, just taking their part in a few things. But I can't go Democrat either, because they completely, their moral thought process between a lot of social issues is so perverted and so corrupt that I cannot in good conscience say, okay, yeah, it's fine. You can get rid of this baby if you weren't expecting it. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's a lot of Democratic reviews that I do, or views. Sorry, I might say reviews, but views that I do like over the Republican views. Mm-hmm. But in the end, the scale that I have outweighs, me going Democrat. And I definitely don't. I'm not a big socialist person, because it's just like throwing confetti in the air and it making a cloud. It's right. Eventually going to crash and burn. And it's going to be done.
Distracting.
It doesn't work. So it is a big deal for me, And so yes, at this moment, I still vote Republican. I'm still a Republican, and I still love that we follow a lot of the founding fathers things, and that's a big thing for me, because our constitutional rights, I believe, should always be there and not swayed. So, but that's pretty much all I have for those big topics today. So we're gonna go on to our strange news.
All right. Well, this comes from our good branch of the United States Navy, and it comes from actually the Navy Times, so it's true. The headline reads, 14 sailors busted for LSD on U.S. nuclear carrier. All right. So we got a nuclear carrier, and I think some of you guys know that keyword nuclear, which isn't good if it goes wrong. And then you have LSD, another thing that isn't good if it goes wrong. I think people have a lot of bad trips, whatever. So here's the some of the sentences about the first paragraph. Officials, Ronald Reagan LSD probe bigger than you think. 14 nuclear sailors snagged. 14 sailors from the nuclear reactor department of the aircraft carrier Ronald Reagan faced disciplinary action in connection to LSD abuse, Navy officials confirmed this week. 2 sailors are already heading the court-martial for using, possessing, and distributing the hallucinogenic drug, while 3 are waiting to see whether they will be charged as well, according to the 7th Fleet spokesman, Lieutenant Joe Keeley. So there's another 10 sailors with the Japan-based ship were administratively disciplined on LSD-related drug charges. So here we are at the USS Ronald Reagan, a nuclear aircraft carrier, and we have LSD going on here. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal while you're on a ship, and like you said, it's nuclear, and you're doing crazy outlandish drugs that are hallucinogens. So it could go really wrong really fast.
Yeah,
So,
a lot could go wrong. And, it's a ship. There aren't too many places to hide. And if you start having a bad trip, I could see some guys jumping overboard. So thinking that everybody's like zombies. So yeah, that's not the smartest thing in the world. I think the Navy should crack down on that and crack down on it hard, because you can't do that. It's
well, it doesn't. I think as far as the drugs and stuff in the military, we need to crack down hard on that for the simple fact that we do have a problem with it. And it's been a problem for the longest time. When I was in the military, it was a big problem. They would always find a reason to either keep you, or they would try to rehabilitate you and these kind of things. And I think at the moment that in the military that we were trying to build, in the country we're trying to represent, it needs to be just like us in athletics. You need to get rid of the people out of there.
Right.
Like, it just has to happen.
Yeah, I agree. This should be a no, what do you call that? No something policy.
Yeah. No substance policy.
Yeah. But yeah, who knows, man? Hopefully they take care of that and they nip it in the bud, because that's no bueno. But having said that, if there's anyone out there that has LSD they want me to try, just let me know.
Hey, Brett, do they need to nip it in the butt like the Navy?
Yeah. Nip it in the butt. So, yeah. That's my strange news.
That's some strange news.
I knew it would be. Well, man, I'll tell you what, man. I had a good time talking with you today, Robbie.
It's been good.
Hey, listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Arm and a Leg and other opinions we like to give. Just remember, guys, we have a YouTube channel, so if you want to get notifications right away that we have released one of these things, go ahead and click the subscription button, and then don't stop there. Click the notification button.
Also, like our Facebook page and leave a few comments, either about today's show, past shows, whatever you want to watch. Or guess what? If you have a topic that you'd like us to look into and possibly talk about, go ahead and put that on there as well. Maybe we'll even bring you on to the show.
Yeah, that's right. We'd love to interview and all that good stuff. So, all right. Well, once again, my name is Brett Parks.
This is your boy, Robbie Gaupp.
And we
are out of
here.